All right, guys, we're live. I'm here with my boy Keith over at Agoraphobe. What's up, buddy?
Going on? How's
I
it
actually
going?
can't think of a better person to watch this movie with, since we
Cool, man.
both know how
Appreciate it.
much we love fucking Italian horror and how much we love Bava. Now, like Bava, when I did my top 40 films of all time list, which is very hard to do, like it was like maybe a first draft of it when I did that
Uh,
video. But counting down the movies and those 40 top films of mine, Bava had the most films with 4, which kind of
leading,
surprised me that
yeah.
Bava had 4 films, has 4 films that are in my top 40 movies of all time. He had the most
Bobby
films
was
of
so
any director
fun.
on my favorite lists, which
Like,
kind of
you
surprised me,
hear
but
about
not too much.
Argento, you hear about Fulci, you hear about Argento, but before them was Mario Bava, and without Mario Bava, you don't have them.
Oh
You
yeah,
have
absolutely,
Kill
absolutely.
Baby Kill, which is your favorite. You got A
Yeah,
Bay of Blood, which is the entire reason, not Psycho or anything. Bay
yep.
of
This is
Blood
the
is
reason for slashers. This is the reason the slasher genre
exactly.
was created. Like I cite that all the time, and I'm always glad that you're on my side and other people's side with that. It's not an unpopular opinion. A lot of people cite this movie as the first true slasher film,
Well,
or
Friday
like the
13th
film,
is
or the film that
it's
led
15
and
years.
molded movies for the next few years into going into the '80s to start the slasher boom. Like this is pretty
Well,
much the
look
film.
at it, man. They created the friends get together to go to a place all together by
Mhm.
themselves thing. Even the chop to the face. Remember the in Friday the 13th Part One, the
Yep,
Marcy
yep.
killing, the chop to the
Mm-hmm.
face, and then you got the
Same.
spear, which is Friday the 13th Part
The
Two.
spit
Who's
that's
who Friday
such a
the
that
13th?
is a such a blatant ripoff. And I know both Victor Miller and who directed Friday 2? Why am I blanking?
Oh,
The
Cunningham.
director,
Oh
yeah,
no
yeah.
no no
No.
no. Oh, Part Two, no, Minor, Steve Minor.
Yeah, Miner, Steve Miner. Both of them were, I think they were asked about it, and Steve Miner specifically, I think he said he never saw the movie, Twitch of the Death Nerve. And
Uh,
I want to say again, Russell, congrats, man. Thank you for supporting the channel in every way you do, but for going out and doing this, becoming a member. I'll make sure we have a lot of fun. I made
Bro,
you a
what's up,
mod
bro?
too, Russ.
Hey,
And
Ninja, how you doing?
we got in here. What's up? What's up, Ginja? How you doing, man? We got
Yeah.
Echo. What's up, Echo? Echo, Echo. We have Phil again. What's up, buddy? We're gonna play some Dark Souls later. And hey, sorry I can't stand. Ah, it's all right, man. Yeah, but
Yeah,
you've seen a Bay
yeah.
of Blood, right, Jay?
Now I gifted a Bay of Blood to Ninja here a few months ago. Here's my arrow. It is
Oh
unopened.
yeah, you're telling me. That's cool.
Arrow window slit version of a Bay of Blood. These are long out of print. I'm actually streaming it tonight from Shout off of Prime, which
Nice,
is
nice. That looks sick, actually. The cover for that. What's up, Foreign? How you doing, buddy? This is right up
yeah
your alley. It's foreign horror.
yeah yeah.
Let me get it actually queued up on my TV. I'm pretty
Hey,
sure it's on
what's up,
Prime
Ed?
still. They shuffle Bava's movies around on like what's streaming on what. Like Tubi usually has a decent amount, but sometimes Bay of Blood's not on there, and then other times it's thrown on there. Last I checked, it's on Tubi. It should be on Prime too.
And what's weird about Bay of Blood is for years that's the one that everybody associated with Baba. Now it's a little
Mm-hmm.
different. Now when they mention Baba, they don't mention Death Nerve.
I think it's because a lot of it. One is that the internet and technology, everyone can communicate. These movies are a lot more readily available, and that because of that, more people are seeing other films by directors that they never saw before, like back in the 60s, 70s and stuff when it came out, and you can only see these movies in very limited places or drive-through, like drive-ins and stuff. So I think that has a lot to do with it, just the advent of the internet and stuff being making so many movies much more available to be seen.
Trying to think of when I first seen this, man. It's been a long ass time
I was
ago.
just trying to
But
think about it too, because
it was
that's
under
my
the name Switch of the Death Nerve.
this was the
It
first
wasn't
Bava
Death
film
Nerve.
I saw. Yeah, I don't like Bay of Blood, dude. The Twitch of the Death Nerve, I always say,
Yeah,
is probably the best name for a horror movie ever.
yeah,
Twitch of the
yeah.
Death Nerve, like that, just it just has a way that when you say it, it's great, man. And then they go.
Yeah.
I mean, A Bay with Blood is fine, and Carnage was another name of it. Another name that it had. A lot of these Italian films had so many names to get them back into theaters, back into drive-ins and stuff, and make milk any penny that they could. Yeah, me too, Varn. Those are pretty much my triple crowns: Bava, Fulci,
Yeah.
and Argento. Not
Yeah.
to say there's
Carnage.
not others, of course.
Yeah.
All right,
This
I
has got
got
some
mine
great
ready.
features. Great
Oh
features,
yeah,
man.
what type of features I got?
Well, it's got commentary by Edgar Wright, for the director of Shaun of the
He
Dead.
loves this movie. He loves this film, Edgar Wright. He was just talking about it when it was on the list that I did, the Shutters countdown list. Edgar Wright was talking a lot during when they were talking about this film.
Okay. Joe Dante does the thing on here on it. Hell yeah.
Nice. Russ watching on YouTube. That's right. It's on YouTube too, right? I might even just watch it on there because this has fucking free ads on Prime. But a few Bava films that are harder to find, like are on Look Movie that aren't on anywhere else, like The Whip and the Body, $5 for an August Moon. Those are I can't find anywhere streaming, but they're on Look Movie, which Russell brought that up a little bit ago in the gaming stream I was doing before this. That he's like, I've been watching some movies, I haven't seen it forever. I said, Look Movie's great. Like it has a lot of movies on there that aren't streaming in anywhere else.
You got the ones that are that just got. Oh man, God, I can't think of the fucking name. And I know it as well as I know my own. The one where the honeymooners, when they get married, they go to like a hotel and shit.
Hatchet for the Honeymoon.
Yeah, I just for the honey. God damn it, man, I
Yeah.
cannot think of it.
It happens to me all the time. I started, something's right on the tip of my tongue, and it drives me nuts. I can't think of it.
Kill Baby Kill, man, is the one so
It's my
underrated.
favorite ghost story of all time. It's my favorite, and it's
Creepy,
how
show, man.
effective, dude. How effective is that ghost when it's just a little Italian boy with a blonde wig on? That's it. Like
Atmosphere.
there's no other. Yeah, the atmosphere is bleeding through that movie. The color usage and stuff, I think, is the best lighting and coloring in a Bava film, which is hard to say because all of his films are gorgeous because he started as a cinematographer. Like that's his eye. He has an eye for that, and it's
Even
brilliant.
Even Shock, man. Shock is not one of people's favorites. Of course, he didn't get to
I
finish
like
Shock.
Shock. Yeah,
But Shock is great, I think, man. Plus, you got
Dario
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. He's great in that. Yeah, like always.
Pigs.
That is a very under. I was just talking about that with somebody recently in the last week or two about Shock. I forget who.
Shock is great, man.
Yeah, boy, I always say Bava never made a bad movie. Like of all the, I've seen most of his. I've seen all like his horror films, the giallo stuff. Like some of the other older films that he started and then or directed as uncredited and stuff like that. Those I haven't ventured into, but like I've seen all his most of his horror filmography. What's up, Joe?
Lamberto's done pretty well too, man.
What?
Lamberto's done pretty well too, actually.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Actually, I'd never tell you I reached out to try to get Lamberto, but I first of all I thought to myself, I said, one, he probably don't speak English. I said to myself, and then I said, two, look at it's Lamberto Bava. I doubt he'll do this shit for free. So I got in touch with his manager or someone. Great guy. We talked for like 15 minutes, and he said to me, his Lamberto's manager, or whatever. He's like, all right, well, three things. He's like, do you speak Italian? And I'm like, no, I do not. And I said, I knew that would be. He's like, yeah, Lamberto. He would speak like very brokenly and stuff. He's like, all right, well, do you speak Spanish? I said, no, I do not. I know a little bit, but like, I can't. I'm not going to be able to fluently. He said, yeah, his wife speaks Spanish, and then he said, also, three is Lamberto doesn't do these type of things for free. And I said, I think it's Lamberto Bava. I don't blame him. But then that guy was so nice that he ended up. We talked for like 15 minutes or so, and stuff, laughing and shit, relating about stuff. And he said, he's going to try reaching out to Claudio Simonetti for me. See from Goblin to see if I can get an interview with him. Dude, that would be sick, right? Talking with Simonetti, with all the amazing scores that they've written Goblin, and just all the directors that they did scores for and stuff. That would be unreal. But all right, everyone ready? who's watching it. Now, this is the one on YouTube is 1 hour and 24 minutes. I'm just wondering if that's the uncut full version. What does your running time say on the DVD or Blu-ray, whatever it is?
Same thing.
124. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
Sorry, I was taking my migraine
That's
powder
right.
thing.
All right. Anyone else watching along? Russell, I know you got it on your TV. Foreign, I don't know if you're just going to hang out or watch. But this actually was a video and movie that I covered for my 100th video on the channel. There were 100 subscribers, I think. Or it was either 100 subs or 100 videos. Now I'm at like over 1,000 fucking videos. It's crazy. This movie, though,
man, you're all over this motherfucker all done.
well, you know, I mean, you work your asshole too when your watches and everything. But when like you look back, when I look back now at like all the shit I already put out, it's like, all right, I put the hard part I got done first and stuff. Because now it's like, because you establish your shit as you go along and stuff. So it's like, all right, now I have this amount of stuff. So now if I'm not feeling well one day or something, but I want to talk about a movie that people weren't really around or subscribed and stuff at the time to talk about that movie, I can download it, edit it and stuff, tweak it a bit and stuff, and then premiere it. And that way you could talk about another movie that you didn't have a chance to a year and plus months ago when you didn't have as many, people there to discuss it with. So that's one of the positives for that.
My workload's getting ready to go up though, because every Tuesday night at midnight, for that extreme theater that I'm doing, before that is a 5 to 10 minute featurette created and narrated by me. So my workload's getting ready to go up every week. Plus, I'm doing, like I said, 2 of our Halloween discussions getting ready to come out, and that's edited even more than what I edited the last one.
That's what happens, man. I know. Like that happens to me, dude, all the time. When I'll edit a video and stuff, especially if it's like a hour long video and stuff. But the first half of it, like I'll be doing whatever. But then by like halfway through it, then like ideas start clicking in and shit, and like jokes and things I can add in. Then it just becomes a whole thing that goes for hours after that. All right.
You almost have to get control of yourself so you don't put too much. You know what I
mean? Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, there's definitely like a balance that. It's like a science, like anything. Like it's just like YouTube is. You just keep on learning and shit. Nobody really ever perfects it. It's always
It's so easy to get carried away. On the one that I did last house on the left with King Gore, man, I was even dropping shit, little comments we'd make. I'd even drop some stupid fucking joke bullshit in the middle of it. I dropped like a banana. No, I dropped a fridge because we were discussing Halloween ends. We were talking about smashing the fridge. Halloween ends. So I had a picture of Michael Myers and a fridge dropping in on him that I put in on
there. Fucking Halloween ends, man. I can't even think about that movie. Thankfully, we're watching a much better one. Now, this Bava film, like Bava's known for his color and lighting usage and stuff, just like Argento is, which I even think Argento is a little too known for that. When it's not the color and stuff, Suspiria is his most color, and Inferno are both his most colorful films. I feel like he has always had patterns that he uses in his movies, like patterned wallpaper and carpeting and stuff like that. Like Argento just has a genius streak with finding the most perfect sets or like building the most perfect sets, finding a location. But besides from Suspiria and Inferno, it's not as colorful as people would make you. Like people would make you think. Like if you've never seen Argento and people say like, "Oh, the color usage he does and stuff," they would make you think all his films are that way. But it's not. It's only Suspiria and Inferno, really, that have that real color palettes and stuff. Now Bava did a lot of that too.
The average person thinks that the only thing that Argento ever did was Suspiria. You know what I mean? Your average person,
absolutely.
Like, oh yeah, he made Suspiria. It's like, dude, he made a lot more than that.
Yeah, Suspiria is the one, pretty much that zombie, and I don't even know what another one. Maybe those two basically are the ones that I will always recommend to someone who's looking for an Italian horror film to get into Italian horror. And I think Suspiria is so well known and famous by now that even mediocre horror fans that never saw Suspiria, they've heard of it at least. Like that's just how big that movie got over the years. That's just it defines Argento, and I think that's a good point you make because that leads back to what I was saying. I think so many people just take Suspiria for how it looks with the color and the lighting that they blanket that over all Argento when it's not.
With Italian
But
horror, it's basically zombie, Suspiria, Demons 1 and 2,
Demons,
and
yep.
A Bay of Blood. And everybody says
Yeah.
that's Italian horror. It's like, man, there's so much more to that, man.
Yeah,
You got Blood in the
absolutely.
Dark, you got, oh man.
So much. That's why it's just never ending discovering them. What's up, Joe? Good to see you again, buddy. How you doing? All right,
I'll
we're
show
gonna
you this
do a countdown when he gets back. Cool.
Here's
Oh,
the Blade
the whole reason I brought up. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Blade in the Dark. That looks sick, actually,
comes
dude.
out here and it sits
That's
out here. It's huge. It's fucking nice, dude.
that's fucking beautiful, actually. That's
See,
cool.
and we
For a
put right
Blade in
here
the
is
Dark.
the knife, splits the hand in half.
Yeah. That's cool.
There goes
Guys who don't know,
Syndrome, man.
that's the film Blade in the Dark, giallo from
Yep.
Mario Bava's son, Lamberto Bava, which is a great movie. So, all right, Russell, you ready? Keith, you ready? I gotta pause here. The reason I brought up the color usage and stuff because we were talking Kill Baby Kill real quick. This movie, even though I feel like this is his most famous film, maybe Black Sabbath also because it was played so much on TV, people saw it growing up a lot. That's very colorful too. This film is one of his most devoid of color movies when you think about it. Like there's still color usage and lighting in certain scenes, but a lot of it is a lot more grounded with the lighting and stuff compared to his other films like Blood and Black Lace. It's colorful all over the place, and at least in The Devil is even a little less on the color usage. Joe, is this movie good? Yes, it is fantastic. You probably wouldn't have any or most of the slasher films we have if not for this movie.
But he was making his a little earlier than our Argento and Fulci and them. Like Fulci goes with the gore, but as far as the colors go with Suspiria with Argento, you got that a little later on in the 70s. Most of Bava's best stuff was late 60s to the early 70s, where the colors and like you talk about the wallpaper, it was a little bit different then. It just looked a little different. I can remember in the mid late 70s how wallpapers and shit looked and how the colors looked.
Yep.
And that probably explains why he didn't use as much of that bright color on some of his earlier stuff because it just wasn't.
That makes sense, actually. It also makes sense since you brought that up that it takes place, in the woods, by this bay, so it would make sense for it to not be as colorful and shit like as in inside locations in another, in a fancier location in other movies and stuff. So that actually makes sense.
This is a little outside of his zone. You know what I mean? This is a little different film. This one's different than all the rest he is.
Well, that's one thing that he was great at, Bava, is every film almost feels like a different thing. Like this movie created the slasher genre for me. Like we said, Kill Baby Kill is my favorite ghost film. He pretty much invented the giallo with the girl who knew too much and Blood and Black Lace afterwards. So this guy created like multiple genres or like at least like heavily influenced them to get started. So, I mean, I guess it's not a surprise that he has the most films on my top films list. But all right, let's watch A Bay of Blood. I'll count down 3, 2, 1, go, and then we'll go. So 3, 2, 1, go. I haven't seen this since I did my video on it, like over a year ago. I love the music in this, like that tribal type music.
So we're from Dordeno Sacchetti, big time fucking screenplay writer.
Yeah.
Dordeno Sacchetti, yeah. You'll see his name on Fulci's films. You'll see his name on
everywhere.
Films. You'll see his name on Ortino films.
Probably some Bruno Mattei.
He was the most sought after screenwriter. Sacchetti was the most sought after screenwriter in the Italian genre, man, in that whole giallo genre.
Well, it's kind of like, why do I always blank on this guy's name? You were blanking on the name, now I'm blanking on the effects guy who always worked with Fulci a lot. Something with a G. Degani, something like that. But he did a ton of effects for Fulci and a bunch of other movies and other directors. And yes, Joseph, you need to watch Demons. like for sure.
Right away you get this one thing. I don't always need to get into the sexual side, but in these Italian films, man, you get like they invented the voluptuous one, the
Oh yeah.
well-rounded, well-curved woman. I mean, they're
Hmm.
bigger and they just look nice. And,
Well, I mean,
and
Europeans and stuff, they were always more free with their sexuality and stuff like that, and that shows throughout cinema history with like European movies
it
compared to
don't
like
take
American.
long. Well, what is like Jess Franco and Jean Roland? Look at Zombie Lake,
Mhm.
man. The first thing you see is a chick walk out there and get butt ass naked and dive around the
Yeah,
water. And
like
you
they're
know what I
just
mean? That's the
a
whole
lot more
first
free
15
with
minutes.
it.
Zombie Lake. That's one that's not talked about very often.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie forever, and you're right. I haven't heard that name actually, even probably since just until you just said it just now.
Effects are not the greatest, but for what it is, it's Zombie Lake.
Yeah, exactly, Joe. I thought it was the best slasher of the year, Thanksgiving.
It's really set the tone really well, man. You're going along here. It's panning out, showing you the whole scenery.
I
It's
the
got an
cinema,
atmosphere
yeah, the
already.
cinematography is just always just fantastic, like perfection with Bava.
Definitely,
And I don't like hanging sequences unless they're memorable.
right.
Suspiria's, The Omen, and this one are pretty much the only
Yeah.
three hangings that really stand out to me. And even this one's not like usually innovative, but just the fact that he kicks her out of the wheelchair and then it goes and falls over while it's spinning the wheel, all of that makes it really, really cool.
She rolls herself right into it. It's just like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah, yeah.
So I love that. Look at that furniture. That's how shit looked in the early 70s, early to mid
Yeah,
70s.
that's what I mean. Like with early Argento, like in his Animal trilogy and then Deep Red, like he used a lot of those type of, and obviously because it was in the 70s and stuff, but he would look for locations and stuff with just those repeating pattern wallpaper or carpets, and it would trick him. He threw the color everywhere and stuff. Then it really amped it up.
If you watch the old show, the old horror anthology show called Night Gallery, she, all
I
that shit
remember that.
looked like this too. All that shit looked like this.
I love that look. I always have. You were saying earlier
Because Night
when you
Gallery,
first saw this. I'm trying to think of when I first saw Bale.
man,
This was
I
the
was
first
probably a
Bava film I
teenager.
saw. Yeah, this is that. I was definitely a teenager. This was, I think, the first Bava film I saw, besides Black Sabbath, that I saw on TV earlier in my life. But I didn't know it was like Mario Bava, and I wasn't into Italian
Right,
horror then.
right.
So like, this was the first like true like experience I had watching a Bava film that I knew who
My
it was. I knew, about it.
my first was Kill Baby Kill, so you can about imagine. That was my first
Oh
Bava
hell
film. That might have been my first Italian horror film. So I was just like, I just
yeah!
felt this
It's
fucking
mind
this
blowing.
aura, this vibe, man. The only time I ever felt that vibe, that feeling was probably in Black Christmas. That
Yeah.
has that feel. That's the two
Yep.
that has the strongest fucking
It
yeah.
has such the atmosphere in Kill Baby Kill is just unbelievable. It's just and the lighting and the color, just like it's not like Argento and Suspiria and Inferno, where like it's green lighting and then it'll go Sarah when she's getting chased and stuff. There'll go it's blue and stuff. Bava just had a way that like in one part of the screen over here it's purple and then it's yellow down here and there's green in the foreground and stuff. And every scene, every shot in this movie is like that. So it's like imagine all the work like to do
Yeah.
that to set that lighting up. But this is a great
Scenes
opening
like
kill.
scenes like this really put you in mind of Martino and Argento. Scenes like this do. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
You can tell they're heavily influenced. Both of them.
yeah.
They love to do this kind of shit because that's
That's that.
graphic, man. I mean, she's
Oh
talking. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean for
it's
then too, for 71 especially.
yeah.
Like this movie's
That's what you
super gory for 71, like for when it came out. Absolutely.
very vintage because that kind of makeup, like I was talking about with the hat to the head, that kind of makeup didn't exist yet, man. People didn't do shit like that
Yeah.
yet.
Yep.
And then it became commonplace in the 80s to do that shit. But then it wasn't. And it's
Yeah.
damn well done.
Oh yeah, the 80s was just the practical effects decade and
It was
stuff.
the oil.
That's why I always say 82 is I think one of the best years in horror because
Oh,
you got so many insane movies. The Thing by Carpenter came out 82. I put a whole list on my community tab last week, but like 82,
My
85, and 77 are all three of those are great years for horror. Probably some of the best. 85, you had Reanimator, Day of the Dead. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But there's a whole bunch throughout those 3 years.
78's big too, man. You got Halloween,
78 also, 77 and 78 were both pretty friggin' stellar years back to back.
I would say 74 to 78, and then 81 to 83.
Yeah, I had a Deep Red DVD Russ had sometime in English and Italian with subs. Cool.
Hey, Patrick, how's it going, man?
Hey, Patrick. Cheetah. What's up, Cheetah? Patrick, what's up, Pat? That's weird, man, because I was earlier today, I saw a notification from you, Pat, of your review of whatever movie. I forgot the movie, but I thought you were live. And I said, oh, let me stop in and say hi to Pat. But then I saw it was your video, so I liked it, and then I watched a little. But I was just thinking you earlier today, so it's funny. It's good to see you here, man. How's everything, Pat? Good? Who's seen Black Christmas 2019? Yeah, everyone hates that movie. I mean, that movie was abysmal. Black Christmas 2019.
I haven't seen
it. Dude, congratulations. Like, it is so bad. It is insulting. Like, it's literally, the whole movie is propaganda. Is just men are shit. All men are rapists. All men are shit. All men are liars, and like that just shoved down your throat. Like the dialogue, it's the whole movie. It has nothing to do with Black Christmas at all. So I don't know what the hell they did with that. That was one of the worst movies.
I'm surprised what's her name didn't make it. The one that played Captain Marvel. I was surprised she didn't direct and write it.
Right? I don't even know who directed that movie. I don't care to know. But that was so bad.
What's her name? I can't remember her name, but she's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
what is her name? Yeah, what is her name?
Hemsworth likes everybody except her.
Yeah. Joe says you should do a movie review of Avatar. Yeah, maybe. You know, I jump out of horror every now and then, so maybe I'll do Avatar. I haven't seen it since it came out.
Me either. I haven't seen the movie.
I don't remember anything about it except the the technology and the graphics. Everything looked stunning. Besides that, I don't remember any of it really. Yeah. And yep, exactly, Russ. That's how Black Sabbath, the band, got their name. It was from Bava's Black Sabbath.
Exactly. Yes.
Which is funny that they have their first album, Black Sabbath, with the song Black Sabbath by the band Black Sabbath.
That too.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's the best part of the song.
Oh, yeah. Satan's coming round the bend. So good.
Around the bend, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, man. Oh, I'm a big early Black Sabbath fan.
Now, I'll say, like, the story to this movie is so fucking confusing. Like, it's just such a convoluted storyline and stuff to this movie, even for like a giallo and shit. Like, it's just a complete, like, mind fuck.
Right? She's the nurse from Black Sabbath, right? She played the nurse that stole the diamond ring from the woman.
Yeah. The creepy corpse from the last segment, that drop of water.
Fucked me up when I seen that.
Dude, that face, I still call that face the creepiest like corpse in horror. Like, that is such a creepy looking face that woman had.
It's haunting, man. I would have stole shit from that. I'd have been like, fuck you. You can have that.
Yeah, right. It's like, I'm gonna take this prop up. I'm gonna take this ring.
I'm not stealing from that one.
Yeah, I know how terrifying that face looks. And even though like you see it change, like from like however they sculpted it, like to the actress and stuff, like between shots, it changes how the look, but every look of it in each shot looks terrifying. Like, even though it changes subtly, every version of it looks friggin' hideous. It's great.
And she fucking steals from it, man. It's like, dude, you got some balls. Now,
yeah,
like,
right.
I love this, man. Like these Italian, these women will just stand around butt ass naked, just having a conversation, man. Yeah. You don't see that in American movies.
No, but you see it in real life. Man. You see it in real life though all the time. And so you're right. It's weird that we don't see it in movies as much. when it's
Yeah,
pretty common in life. You know, if you're in a relationship with somebody, stuff you just hang around chilling naked. You don't see that
yeah,
like in American movies.
yeah. They're just much more. I don't know. Just I don't know. Too self-conscious. It's like they're worried about being covered up all the time. It's like they're so tight.
America's always been very uptight with sex and free with violence. Like once, like oh, you could be nowadays movies could be as violent as they want, but you throw some sexual shit in there and stuff like that'll cause a controversy immediately. Like it's so weird how this friggin' country is. The Echo says hello to the cheetah. Echo, 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 cheetah, cheetah.
Yeah, that's two names I don't hear. I don't talk to or hear from much anymore.
Mm. Me too. Even made a playlist of YouTube with some bootlegs for Ozzy. I love Ozzy.
Oh hell yeah!
I love these shots through the binoculars.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the quick pan too, like to following the guy, like you could tell like he's shooting this Bava, like he's looking, and then it grabs his attention, and he moves over and 6/8 on the guy.
Using that cinematography through the binoculars is fucking great.
Yep, exactly.
Like that's a pretty smart way of doing it. Like for instance, in Strangers on a Train with Hitchcock, a little smart little shit like that. Like
Yeah.
when the dude's strangling the chick and her glasses fall off, and you can see the reflection of him strangling her in the glasses. That's just smart shit, man.
Oh
You
yeah.
start her glasses fall off, and the camera goes to the glasses, and in the glasses you can see him killing her.
Just the way that like these Italian directors like just framed their shots and thought of things. Like look at Opera. That's probably my favorite Argento movie with the peephole kill with Daria. What an exquisite shot and death like that is. Seeing it go through. Yeah. It's like unbelievable like how he thought of that and pulled it off. Like it'll stand the test of time. The effects and the shots in these movies that we consider classics and stuff.
Whole time you're telling Daria, no, don't look to the people.
I know, yeah. And you're like hoping, like, all right, well, maybe it is the real cop. Maybe it's not the killer. And then, like, it's like, oh no, Daria. But no, it looks so good when the bullet goes through the hole. Awesome stuff.
Saw 2 stole that idea.
Wait, who?
Saw 2. Remember they got the gun lined up.
Oh yeah. Yep. He pretty much the big dude, the dickhead. He makes the other guy look through it because he don't want to look through it. That's bad funny.
They borrowed
did, Russ.
That's what they call it.
Friday 2, definitely. It blatantly ripped this movie off. You can't call it homage. You can't call it. No, it's a blatant ripoff. Like even the bill hook to the face in this
is like stolen. Is no longer stolen. Now they either borrow it or it's an homage. It's no longer a steal. Borrow or homage.
Yeah, right. It's always lightening the words as time's going on, like making words sound less harsh or sound more sensitive. I don't know. I can't stand all that.
Like you stole it, motherfucker. You didn't need no homage. You stole that. Shut up. Homage. You paid homage to it.
Yeah, Steve Miner, I said, even was asked it like in an interview or something. He said, I've never seen that movie. I said, yeah, you've never seen this? There's no way you've never saw that movie. That's the exact same kill. And it's not like it's like a generic kill, like a decapitation or like, you know what I mean? Like it's two people fucking in bed with a spear coming, impaling them and hitting the ground, shot the exact same way. Once the spear goes through, the bottom shot of the arrow of the spear hitting the ground, and then they're writhing around on top. It's identical. Like there's no way that he didn't see that movie.
Very definitive kill. It's unmistakable. So when someone else takes it, you spot it. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That cannot be a coincidence. Just admit it, dude. You took it. It's a cool ass kill. You were the first one to do it.
Yeah, and we all love Friday too. When we love that kill and stuff, even though those of us who know Bava know it came from this, we still love Friday too. So it's like, just admit it, Minor. Like, come on, like yeah, they did it good. They can do it. They could have done it much worse and had it turn out terrible. So you're right. You got a point. JT and Keith, have you ever, Russell wants to know if we ever heard? Yeah. JT and Keith ever heard of Rory Gallagher from Ireland? Russell's asking. Not that I know of.
Rory Gallagher. No.
Definitely sounds Irish for sure. I'm half Irish. Wait, what, Joe? The little
No,
girl said Santa's not Santa, it's Art the Clown. Oh,
I
yeah,
know
the
Clue
creepy.
Gallagher and Rory Calhoun. Is it like
Yeah,
a
I
combination
know
of the two
Rory,
people?
Rory Calhoun. I
Rory,
love.
hell yeah, from Motel Hell.
Yep, yep. I think that was his last role, wasn't it? His last movie? Or am I thinking of from Tourist Trap, Chuck Connors? That was his last
Um,
movie. Maybe it was
well,
both of their last
well,
movies,
remember
respectively.
Rory Calhoun also did Angel, also close to around that time. I think it might have been after Motel Hell. So I think Angel
Because he
might have
looked
been.
he looked a little sick in Motel Hell.
Yeah,
Rory,
and
like you could tell
Angel
he
was
was his
old
health was
me
declining.
too. Too.
Yeah, Joe. The
They,
creepy
they,
pale girl
they,
Joe will definitely be there.
there ain't nothing on our bottoms there. If you just run around, they're just all free, man. It's just like you just can't. That plus, you got to think this is early '70s too, man. So people were a lot more free sexually then.
Oh,
People didn't even
absolutely.
get.
It's
This
coming
is
right
right
off
after
the
they went to
hippie
wars
movement.
and shit.
Yeah, with the '60s.
So
But
people
just the
didn't get
whole
all.
setting here, like this is just what it's for me. Just this is Friday the 13th, like almost a decade earlier. You know what I mean? Like just the whole on the water. You know, this is a bay, whatever. It's a lake in Friday. It's just like this for me feels like the first slasher movie.
Yeah,
Even though
because
it
you got
has
a group
more
of young
giallo
people.
aspects to it, like it is a giallo, but the setting, the
Yeah,
group of friends, younger teen and stuff, getting the sex
yeah.
and stuff, the brutal killings, like it just has it
Growing up to
all.
be alone, where no one can help them, where they get picked
Yep,
off one by one. Yep,
exactly.
this is the
That
whole
wa-
template. Man.
yeah, and this is like the one that I can think of, like the earliest. I mean, I don't consider Psycho and Peeping Tom slasher movies. That's why I don't say like those movies cause I think I'm not a huge fan of Peeping Tom, but Psycho's a masterpiece, obviously, and I just view that as just its own thing. Like I don't see Psycho as a slasher film. I could see it's had some influence for sure. It had influence on everything in cinema ever since it released. But a slasher film? Nah, I mean he only kills two people in that movie. For me, a slasher film, you got to have a decent body count. That's why Halloween is
Oh,
also not a slasher to
right,
me.
right. There's like 4 or 5 kills in the whole thing, and that strings from the time he's 6 to the time he's 21.
Yeah, exactly. Like Friday again. Like we go back to Friday. Friday is the one that started with the high body count. Even the first one wasn't too high, but as it went
Holy
on, the
cow!
next one, 2 or 3, that's what started the whole. You got to have as many kills as possible. And then all the slasher films coming out at the same time were trying to outdo themselves.
Well, think about the three OG trailers for Friday the 13th 1, 2, and 3. In the trailer, they count the bodies. 1, 2,
Yeah.
and they actually counted them in the trailer.
Yep.
So they were advertising the body count. The only thing I guess
All right,
this
Joe.
movie is
Have a good
missing.
night, Joe. Thanks for
The
stopping
only
by,
thing
buddy.
this movie is missing is either Daria Nicolodi
Mm. Oh,
or
wouldn't that be great if she was in this? That would be great.
Carolyn Monroe or oh goddamn the other one that's always in them. It's missing having one of those chicks in it. The
Yeah,
third
it's
one I
like
can't. Catriona. If one of those
oh,
three was in,
McCall.
it'd be
Okay, yeah,
perfect.
yeah. Katrina McCall. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, this character, what is she? Just like a psychic or some shit? Like she's
Yeah,
weird. Like she. But like, again, this story is so fucking convoluted and complex and makes little sense. I mean, they're all just basically fighting, killing over this bay.
right.
But she's like a psychic, right? And like her husband's like an whatever the hell it is, who studies insects and shit. Entomologist.
Yeah,
Pretty sure that's where what her husband is. Yeah,
I
because
don't
he's got all the
remember.
bugs. So those in the chat
Yeah,
who haven't seen this movie, this is It's basically a murder mystery slash early type slasher format. That there is a bay, hence Bay of Blood, that this countess owned. She was killed in the beginning by her husband, and then the husband was killed by someone we don't know who. And now we see
Right.
other characters that live on the bay and stuff. It's that there's this whole power struggle on who's gonna get possession of this bay, and it just keeps getting more convoluted and shit from that on.
That always caught me off guard when right after she gets hung, he gets fucking killed. Like, whoa, damn, that's a big
Yeah,
thing.
you don't expect that at all first time you see it because you think, all right, this is a killer. But then like
Yeah.
that when then the killer kills the killer, and you're like, oh shit, okay, this is not what I was thinking at all.
Joke's on you, motherfucker. You didn't do shit but kill her. All you did was a favor for
Yeah, it's
them.
helped me out, right? Yeah, help me out. You
Thanks.
saved me body.
Thanks a lot.
I like this guy's character though, the entomologist, the
Yeah,
bug
yeah.
dude.
He was in something. Wasn't he?
He looks familiar. I've always thought that. I just never could think of what else or never looked up what else he was in.
Don't torture a duckling.
Is that it? Maybe that's why I can't think of it offhand because remember I've told you I got to rewatch that movie and have it finally click for me because Don't Torture Ducklings is one faulty movie that never has clicked for me in the few times I've watched it.
He's the dad to one of the little boys that gets killed. One of the main boys.
Yeah, one of the boys in the village. Okay, that makes
Yep.
sense because I've
He's the
always
father.
thought he
I
looked
swear
familiar.
that's him. I swear that's him. I'll
I'm
I'll
sure
probably
you're.
look
I'm
it up
sure you're
later.
right. I'm sure you're right.
I love Don't Torture a Duckling, man. I'm actually
I
surprised
know.
that you don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it. It's just I never. I don't know, 2 times, 3 times I've seen it over the years. It just never clicked for me. You know, I mean, maybe it was just the mood I was in watching them on those occasions or whatever. Now that I'm watching and like covering stuff and thinking more analytically about stuff, like and have my full concentration, that's how I'm going to watch it next. I almost threw it on the other day. Actually, I almost threw it on.
I'm like that with Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 doesn't grab me like the first one does. And
I know
get
a lot of
going,
people
really?
like that. I know a lot of people like the first better. I like the second better, but I love the first two, and I can definitely see why people like the first two because it. If anything, like if I would, even though I do like Terrifier 2 better, I will say that Terrifier the original is just better at being a slasher film. Like you don't need all the extra plot and stuff like that. It's just like insane to the punch and the whole entire movie, and there doesn't have to be a like crazy story or like good character. It's just an homage to old gory slasher films.
Man,
And that I could see people liking more for sure than Terrifier 2.
Part 2 lost me with little shit like you're the only one that can kill him. And that sword, and the fact that she comes back to life and comes back to kill him. I was like, come on, man. Plus that ending goes on for like an hour. It's like I think we lose about 20 minutes of that.
She started because Lauren Lavera, who plays Sienna, does martial arts and took martial arts throughout her life. And I think Damien Leone wrote that in because of that.
Yeah.
So it does make sense. But I see where you're coming from. Dude, I didn't know how old she was. She's in her 40s. And she's playing she was playing a teenager in that movie. And I believed it when I was watching that movie. I'm like, all right, I can see her as a teenager. She's like in her 40s. Yeah, I didn't know how old she was when I first saw Terrifier 2 when it came out.
But have you seen the trailer for the third one? The little teaser that they made to hold people over.
Yeah, that's what I got a copyright strike over.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
that's a damn good trailer.
I didn't tell you that, right? I got a copyright strike fucking like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I got one. I got one a year ago, but then after 90 days, it goes away. But this was for the Terrifier 3 teaser. People like 3-4 people had it uploaded and shit like that. But it's because it was right during the weekend that it was in theaters. So they you know how it is. They want everyone going to the theaters, paying that money to see the Terrifier 2, to see the teaser and stuff. So I got a copyright strike for that after it hit 4,000 views and like 195 likes and brought in a few subs. And then ever since then, that's why I took a break for a few days of posting videos, because after that strike, they say that YouTube's like YouTube says it doesn't affect your channel, like search rankings, suggestion. It absolutely does. If you have a copyright strike or just get one, like for a week or two, I did Google, I did Reddit, looking around, and mad people said the same thing. They got a strike, and their views plummeted for like a few weeks. Same thing happened with me. Like ever since that strike, my videos went like were topping at 20, 30 views. Like that's it.
Man,
The watch time was fine because I premiere everything, but the views. So the search rankings they're getting pushed right out of. So they can say
man,
that all they want that they don't do that. It doesn't affect your channel. Yeah, bullshit. Because it puts like a soft ban on it.
fuck your algorithm. Yep, man, that's
Yeah,
bullshit.
I knew that it got a little better because my last gaming kill that I posted had 11 views for 4 or 5 days. Then it started shooting up to like 180, 190. I said, all right, now it looks like it's back to normal, like it's hitting the algorithm back in the search rankings again. And then it's been kind
Oh,
of fine since. But yeah, it's definitely they do like a soft ban, shadow ban on you if you get a strike, like for a week or two afterwards, which is dumb, like super dumb. It goes away in 90 days. But pain in
well,
the ass.
yeah, they say that shit doesn't reflect on you just about as much as like serious crimes you commit before you're 18. They don't look at that after you turn 18. Bullshit.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
always
true.
there. Your
That's
record's
true.
not erased. Your record's not erased. It absolutely does reflect, depending on
Oh,
your
oh
crime.
yeah, absolutely. Nothing can ever truly be erased, like nowadays,
Dude,
especially. Hey, Cass, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you
nice
had a
to
good
meet
weekend.
you. Nice to meet you. I am Gorapho.
He is agoraphobe. She's naked like this whole movie, like while she until she dies.
That's what I mean. You got that. It's just that voluptuousness that only the European women. They
Yeah,
have a certain kind of voluptuousness.
they have a way too of combining sexuality with death and violence. Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's a huge thing with Bava, with
Yeah,
Argento, especially. Like I always say, Argento and Lynch, maybe Bava too, are like the only directors really I know that can make death look beautiful and terrifying at the
it's the
same time.
music. It's the music. It's the
Hmm.
cinematography.
It's
It's
the
the
whole
women.
experience. It's the whole
Yeah. It's all
experience.
of it. It takes all of it. Man.
Oh yeah. I love how they're
I,
fighting too. The two guys here, and he's like, he was going. One of them was going after the one that's swimming, and now he's like trying to go
yeah,
after the other one. And he's like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
claimed
yeah.
her. That's funny.
That didn't work. So fuck it. I'm going. No, wait a minute, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like that one was working, so I'll go to this one now.
Yours is out there, man. She took off.
And he should be happy because she's the one out there with no clothes on, swimming around.
Yeah. But at the same time, you know what I mean. She didn't invite him really.
Yeah, that's true. So I can see the mind state he's in. How was your weekend, Cass? You doing good? You ever see this movie? Yeah, have you ever gotten into Italian horror, Cass? But yeah,
Yeah,
even that face Bill Hook kill in this is so similar to Friday 2 with Mark in the wheelchair. It's like melding
oh
the
yeah.
wheelchair opening with the Bill Hook kill, and boom, you got that one. So there's two kills in Friday 2 that are ripped from this. So it's like, get out of here, minor. Come on, we know you saw this. Like him or someone who worked on the script or something. You like said, oh, we got to do this because this would be great, and they didn't say something.
Even,
Maybe that's probably what
even
happened.
Miller and Cunningham, even Miller and Cunningham with the hatchet to the face of with the accident face of Marcy,
Yeah, yeah.
just like this dude's accident face. It's the
Oh
same
yeah.
thing.
And I think this is so much more brutal looking and awesome. The kills are great in this movie.
Yeah, yeah, because Marcy's chop cuts away. I mean, of course, there's the other version where you can see the whole thing, but the theatrical is just a chop and it cuts away for a second. But this one, it shows the whole fucking thing, him all the way to the
Oh
head.
yeah, and I love how they like for her how they slit her while she's running, and then she hits the ground, and then he hits her again on the back of the neck. That's a cool addition, man. Like that's such a clever little detail to add in. He could have just slit her throat, let her fall to the ground, but he just slits her. She falls, and then he chops the back of her neck too, like decapitating her pretty much almost. Like awesome little detail.
She calls
Marvel,
son. She's like, "What the fuck?"
nice. That's cool, cuz I'm not big into superhero movies and stuff. or
I like the
especially like
earlier ones.
newer ones, like the older, like Batman '89 and Batman Returns, a few others.
I like
Not
MCU. I
much.
like MCU up to Endgame. After Endgame, that whole story up to Endgame was good. After
Yeah,
that, man, it's just become the same old shit. It's the same old punchline. Nothing is serious. They're always fighting to save the world, yet everything is a one-liner joke.
yeah, joking
You
around
know,
and
it's
shit. It's
like
like, yo, shouldn't we like do something like try to save humanity and the planet? That's
putting
funny.
jokes on each other. It's like, dude, man, this is Thor, right? So,
It's like this is wrong time, wrong place.
I was a big fan up to Endgame, and after that, it's all the same shit.
I don't even think I saw that. I haven't watched a superhero movie in probably like 15 years. Like that's
Yeah.
well before the whole like the Marvel universe and stuff happened and stuff. So I haven't seen them. Probably Spider-Man, Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Probably the last superhero
Those
movies
first
I
two
saw.
were
Really,
pretty good.
they
Those
are.
first two were
Oh
they
yeah.
were pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, Raimi is just phenomenal. He can make and direct anything. Like I have full confidence in him. Like if they came to
I,
him with like a huge project, like a movie and IP or something, said like, and he would be able to do it. Raimi would be able to pull it off. Like he's always been a visionary.
Raimi, well, Sam Raimi made the last Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, that's right. I still haven't seen that actually. How was it? Did you see it?
Yeah, I seen it. It's actually one of the better newer ones, but you can
Okay.
tell it's got some zombie type shit happening where
Oh, I'm
Doctor
sure. I'm
Strange
sure you could feel
turns into a
Raimi's.
zombie.
If you can feel Raimi throughout it, I'm sure. Yeah, I got to
Big
check that
horror
one out.
influence in it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You might enjoy that one because it's definitely got a Raimi stamp of approval going on.
Nice.
But you could tell he was under certain conditions that he couldn't get past. He couldn't be full Raimi. He had to be MCU Raimi.
Yeah, well, so it's like Studio Raimi, like Raimi's imagination, creativity, but checked in place from the
Right.
studios. Pretty much
You
like
could tell
Army of
that
Darkness.
they
That's
wouldn't
kind of
let
what
him
happened
go.
with Army of Darkness too. Was his
Yeah.
first studio movie? Shit, that's why it's devoid of so
Oh,
much gore and blood. That's so good. I love that.
there it is. Yep.
So yeah,
Damn, leave you hooked.
like that was such a great detail to add to Chopper again like that. Like if this was a Friday the 13th film and stuff, like it would just been a throat slit without the running even because people don't run away in Friday movies unless it's the final girl. They just stand there and So like, just all of that is just such a great fucking kill. So much so that it's the most famous artwork for this movie. That cover of A Bay of Blood with her on it.
Yep.
And Russell Black Sunday is in my opinion, along with Psycho, both came out the same year the
Barbara
most
Steele, man.
influential horror movies like ever. Those two
Barbara
movies.
Steele's badass, man. I
Oh yeah,
I I I've got autographed picture of Barbara Steele. Barbara Steele's
do
pretty
you?
cool.
That's awesome.
Yes,
That is awesome.
that was one of my first
Hey, what's
autograph
up?
pictures.
What's up, Scottish Geek guy? How
Hey,
you doing, man?
nice to meet you, man.
Yes. Hope you're having a good Sunday night. But yeah, Black Sunday. I feel Black Sunday in 1960 and Psycho in 1960. You could throw Peeping Tom into if those Europeans want to get into it, like the Brits. But those two films, I feel like, are the most influential horror movies like of all time. Like if you didn't have Black Sunday, you wouldn't have like a shit ton of the gothic like type feeling movies and all the Italian cinematography and beautiful movies that they went on to create. And without Psycho, you wouldn't have. We already know what we wouldn't have without Psycho. But I think
Well,
it's
that
just as
Gothic,
important.
man,
Black
that
Sunday. I
kicked
think
off
it's
a
just as
whole
important.
that kicked off a whole decade full of Vincent Price Gothic movies and shit too, man.
Yeah.
It kicked off a whole decade full. I mean, and
Oh yeah.
that's Vincent Price. That's what he banked most of his career on. So and he did it better than anybody. But
Oh yeah.
without the foundations of that, you wouldn't have all of those, man.
Like I really wonder what like horror movies in the horror genre would look like today if we'd never had Psycho or Black Sunday. It would probably
Right.
be just like an alternate universe that you can't even imagine the type of shit that we're watching.
Yeah. because that's the thing that switched it from being all about the monsters and shit, all about the vampires and shit. It switched it.
Yeah, and right here, I
There
love
it
that.
was.
Yep.
And he falls all the way to the ground with it and moves his head around. So that's damn good makeup for the time.
Oh, it's very good.
Now
Just
they
yeah,
pull it out.
and then
It's like,
pulling it out. That's what I love about that. I like that more than the kill. Just how
oh,
good
this
that
is mine.
looks. Like that
This is
makeup is
mine. Thank
so
you.
good. Yeah, like I'll take
I'll,
that back. Yoink.
I'll, I'll be having this. Yeah, you can't have it.
But that makeup is fantastic when they pull it out. Like that's always been my favorite part of that because you just see like wow, like they
I
really
forgot
did a
about
great
that.
job on those practical effects.
I forgot him taking it out like that.
Yeah, no,
I
that's awesome because that
I
really
forgot
sells it.
that.
That really sells it. Like
Yeah.
after you, because you've seen, I mean, especially since this movies came out and stuff, we've all seen people take one in the face like that. But you don't see it like pulled out, like
Yeah.
it's wedged in and pulled out often. Like I could think of maybe a few movies I've seen that too, like later movies than this, but you don't see that
That's what
often,
made
and
the
it
70s.
sells the effect a lot.
That's what made the 70s so great, man. Is the 70s were like that. They wouldn't allow them to do it in the 80s. They wouldn't allow them to keep the camera on it long enough for them to take it back
Yep,
out.
yep,
That's
yep,
why we didn't see that. But the 70s were so free and open with the films that
yep.
that's why I'm doing that extreme theater show, based on the grindhouse and based on the exploitation
Oh
films,
yeah,
because that's my favorite era is the 70s because it showed all that shit.
yep. And we
The
didn't, you
Italian
didn't have,
films,
you
man,
didn't,
the
you
best
didn't
ones.
have the video nasty bullshit yet. You know, from the early '80s, you didn't have that yet in the '70s. So a lot of it went, and this is so great. The fucking double bed
It
entailment,
was. See, this is all
and
the
the
shit that they wouldn't allow Friday the Part
yeah,
2 to
yeah,
show.
they had to cut it out, and I've seen some of the cut footage,
Yep, yep. And she's squirming on top just like on
and it
Friday the
looks
Part
even
2.
more so like a ripoff. Yeah, yeah. with the
Yep.
cut footage, you're right. It looks even more blatantly obvious that they stole this. That's
Yeah,
funny.
if they hadn't cut that out of the Friday the 13th Part 2, people really would have been going, damn.
Well, and the reason back then, I'm sure Victor Miller who wrote the script or whoever worked on it with Steve Miner and shit. I'm sure somebody said, "Well, it's just some Italian movie from fucking no one's gonna see it. Like no one's gonna know." That's probably exactly what they said back then. Because
Yep.
back then it was hard. I remember, was it Martin Scorsese or Joe Dante? Someone was, I think it was Scorsese, talking about like Bava films, and like if you wanted to see some of these movies, you had to go to a drive-in, so like the grindhouse
Yep.
theaters and stuff. And then once they were gone, they were gone. Like you didn't know where to find them. There was no VHS yet, and stuff. So like once a movie left the theater, it's like almost impossible, if not super rare, to track it down.
The drive-ins housed all these kind of films. The films they wouldn't show in the theater is what they showed at the drive-in. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how a
All
lot
the
of people saw these
exploitation, all that.
foreign films and B movie slashers in the '80s and stuff. Was the grindhouse theaters, the drive-ins. But
Once they
that
start
that
allowing the
that
horror
kills great.
movies in the theaters so much is when the censors stepped in and they really started fucking with them.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
there was no um
MPAA.
rating system until after Night of the Living Dead came out. Um,
Yep.
uh, let me see. Roger Ebert talked about going to the theater and seeing Night of the Living Dead. There was actually kids in the audience without their parents because there was no rating system yet.
There was no MPAA and everything. Yep.
A month after it came out is when they instated the rating system
Yeah.
in
That makes
1969,
Yeah, the year after. Hey May.
and that's what started fucking shit. That's what started
That's all.
fucking it up.
That's
Hey
all
May,
right.
what's up?
She said I'm missing this, but I'm not home. I said, it's all right. You're doing something more fun than you're not home. You're out. Enjoy being out. Much love. Much
How
love
you
to you
doing,
too,
man?
May.
How was your evening? What you got
Chilling in
running
the
around
morning.
doing?
Sniper at a football game. Troll to nest.
Oh hell yeah!
This dude
You
is
ever see the
basically
movie?
yeah.
You ever
What
see the
movie?
movie Roller Coaster?
Roller coaster?
Roller
No,
Coaster. Yeah, it's got
I don't think so.
George. It's got George Segal, Timothy Bottoms, and it's about a dude that he's like a terrorist. He's American, but he's a terrorist. And what he does is he plants bombs on these roller coasters. So when people come around the cars, get to this area, he lets the bomb off and blows them up and kills people.
No, yeah, I definitely never saw that. That's going on the list now, just for the idea of it and the plot. What year is it from?
That's the late 70s. Late 70s somewhere. And just look for Roller Coaster starring
Yeah,
George Segal. George Segal Roller Coaster. You'll find it.
I'm sure I'll find. Yeah, that sounds insane. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, she seen me everywhere now. Man's like, damn, Gore's every fucking place now. Last night was Sean Juno. Tonight he's with JT.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what people
I'm
used to
on
say to
tour, man.
me.
I'm on
People
tour.
used to say to me months ago, should they used to call me YouTube whore because I would have days like that I would go from my channel doing a stream to Mike's channel or someone's channel to another late night one and shit.
It's a Gore. This is Gore full world tour.
Good night, man. Have a good night, man. Hope you had a good weekend and everything.
70s were the best, Russell. You're right, and I'm going to celebrate the fuck out of them. Oh man,
yeah, that's going to be great. That's going to be great with your
show. On there, man, it's a lot of those shows. A lot of people, a lot of the crowd, probably won't want to see. I mean, I'm even doing Christmas Cruelty.
Oh, there you go.
And that's
you can do don't open till Christmas is another, not as crazy, but fucking that was a video nasty, wasn't it? Don't open till Christmas.
Yeah, well, sure I'm doing well. All the ones that are extreme.
I'm saying it doesn't have to be. Yeah, I know it's not just video nasty, but like those type of extreme disturbing movies that have that big reputation. Yeah.
My first one's going to be Cannibal Holocaust, and then next week I'm going to do Mother's Day, and then let me see what's
Mother's Day was a movie I wanted to do on Mother's Day, and it didn't happen. That's a great fucked up movie too.
I love Mother's Day, and shit, I can't remember my third one, but after that I'm doing Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, and
that's a great one too. What was the last one?
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, and then Christmas Cruelty will be on December 20th.
Oh, okay. Then, I didn't hear this Christmas Cruelty one.
Then I'm doing a Sunday matinee, my one and only Sunday matinee that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be Black Christmas. I got to squeeze that in. It's not part of the extreme, but I just love it.
Yeah, Russell knows roller coaster. He loves roller coaster.
Oh, I figured he would.
Yeah. I always forget in this film that it has the decapitation kill. That's gnarly. With the psychic woman a little later. I always forget that kill's in here until I start watching this movie.
She was in a lot of them too. I remember seeing her in a lot too. I can't remember her name, but this chick here.
The one that's the main one talking to the bug guy.
Yeah.
She is familiar. I definitely have seen her in other stuff.
That dude was in a Argento movie too, man.
He looks so familiar. That's why I said you're probably right with Don't Torture a Duckling, but because I've always thought he looked familiar, and I never bothered to look up what the hell he's from. I'm gonna look it up now, actually. Now that we can actually figure it out.
I think he's in Argento too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, they all kind of traded off actors in the Italian, Martino.
Yeah, I mean, even with the composers and then special effects people, they always share it around.
Screenwriters, yeah, all of it, man. Like I said, that Duranto Sacchetti, I do believe is his name, works for all of them, man.
Yeah, yep.
He did a bunch of Fulci.
Just like, and I can't believe I'm blanking on the name of the effects guy for Fulci, and there's many others. I mean, it's something with a G.
Here, I'll put it down.
I love Inferno, Russ. I think I like Inferno more than Suspiria.
Let's see. That's it. There's Gianfranco Clarici.
What is it?
It's Gianfranco Clarici.
Okay.
And then
there's
is it? Yeah. Giordano Sacchetti did House by the Cemetery.
Okay.
He also did the New York Ripper.
Okay, so yeah, so he's done things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and,
like you
I
said,
know
they
he
all
did
trade off each other with with all aspects.
that. That's a Chetty's a motherfucker, man. He did a lot of great shit.
All the people, not all, but most of the people in this movie always look familiar, like from other stuff to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find the freaking bug dude. I'm pretty sure it's this guy. Pialo.
Well, shit, the New York Ripper, man. The screenplay was done by Gianfranco Carici, and then a dude named Vincento Menino, Fulci, and Sinchetti all wrote the New York Ripper.
That's some fucking lineup. No
No,
one,
yeah,
and
that's
that movie feels fucking like disjointed as shit too, in a good way. So I mean, it kind
it's
of
so
makes
dirty.
sense.
It's
Yeah, I
so
mean, it
dirty,
kind of makes
man.
sense. Oh, it is, especially that weird ass random scene with the foot and
But
stuff. Oh, that's so. It goes on for so long too. Like it's so weird. It's so faulty. It's just crazy.
that almost feels like a Mortino, actually. It's got a more.
That
It has a
yeah.
torso feel to it.
Oh well, yeah. Torso has like its own feel to its like. I don't think any other movie feels like Torso. It has a
I
very
can see that
unique
part.
feeling.
I can see that part being in it though.
Oh yeah, and I think that's it. It's like one of the scenes in that movie that it's just like, what the fuck am I watching? Whatever. Like, I mean, it goes on for a little while, but it was weird.
Yeah,
And that guy playing the bug dude, fucking, he wasn't in Don't Torture a Duckling. I didn't notice anything he was in. I just looked it up. He was in like two other things. So
really.
maybe he just looks like a guy.
What what what
Close enough.
what what, what was the movies he was in?
Let me see. I have it right up here.
I have seen him clear as day, man.
Yeah, and I said I've always looked at him as familiar. He's in known for I don't even know what that. Don't Look Now, 1973, which I'm trying to find director on that. Nicholas Rogue, the director, so I don't know that movie. So he was in Don't Look Now from 1973. He was in some Italian movie that doesn't have an English title, and one other movie, and Cinema Paradiso from 1988.
They're
Yeah,
they're
they
lumped
probably.
somehow, man.
I definitely, yeah, I've definitely seen it. I say it every time I watch this movie. That guy looks fucking familiar, unless he just got
Man,
one of those faces.
I'm gonna do a deep study of it here in a little bit to make sure because I swear to
Yeah,
God,
dude, that's right, man. Fucking deep dive into that. We got to figure this mystery out because we can't
yeah,
both be thinking that he's familiar from something else and he's not been in anything else.
yeah, he clear as day, man, clear as day. I can remember him,
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure it was full.
yeah. Russell, it's such a good movie. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
I
doing that,
haven't
man.
seen this. I haven't seen the sequel in forever. Which
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't remember it being good at all. I know there's just the one sequel, and I haven't seen it forever. But it was not anything that stuck to my mind, obviously, because I don't remember it. I love that shot
Oh
with the
shit, yeah,
octopus all over her father's face in the boat. That's such a great shot
yeah.
when they
Oh,
finally
it's
show
just
it.
yeah,
That's so cool. Now they just, like always for the Italians, they just linger on it for so extra long than than you would in like an American movie.
well, they didn't have the same fucked up rules we did, you know.
No, yeah.
That's why foreign films are so good, man. You know that's why you got the kick-ass films from the Asian films and shit because they
Oh
don't go
yeah,
by our same bullshit.
yeah,
They can do
and
whatever they want.
it's because they know that it's our shit's bullshit.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
probably like
yeah.
silly Americans. We're just gonna do things our own way and make good movies.
Yep.
But that's gotta suck. Imagine being this woman, you find your father dead in the boat with an octopus squiggling around his face. Like that sucks. That's some way to find the
Yeah.
news out.
I was like, what, man? I gotta have
My eyes looked right at the fucking axe or hatchet too.
yeah, he heard his voice and he immediately looked at the hatchet. So it's like, don't fuck with me.
Like
I hear you, motherfucker.
you can see some of the like the lighting from Bava like in his more colorful movies. Like even Black
Mhm.
Sunday is gorgeous for black and white. Like his black and white films are great. Like the lighting, like you can
Black
see
and white's
shades of
cool,
it
man.
here. Oh yeah,
Black
I
and
mean
white used correctly is awesome.
yeah, like if you get the just the blacks that are real black and like it's standing out, the cinematography looks great already. Like great, and like that's how Black Sunday is. Black Sunday looks phenomenal
Black and white's
cinematography
so much more
wise.
clear. You know, black and white to me always looked like it had a 4K or a high definition look to it. Black and white did.
I can see what you mean. Just because it's less that your eyes are taking in, I guess. You know, it's
It's
just
more
looking. It's not
defined, man.
processing all these freaking colors and stuff going on. That makes sense.
To me, it always had high definition look. Black and white did. Even the oldest shit, you can just see it better. You can just define.
Yeah, that's why I do like when certain movies, like it's not often, but nowadays, like when they make a conscious decision to film it in black and white. You know, like, and if it's a good movie, of course, and if it works for the movie, but if it does, then I've always liked that. Like when people take a chance to say, no, we're going to do this in black and white, and then it adds to it somehow.
Oh yeah, she sees all these fucking bodies just, and she's just like, they're just all together.
They're all just. That's another trope. Was I thought of this the other day that
Mm-hmm.
finding like all the bodies and stuff. That's another thing that you see here. That was probably one of the earliest things with that trope, mixed with being on a
Yep.
bay or a body of water. He's got that axe.
Like
She
like
likes.
like you had that scene in The Burning with them all on the raft, and then you got Friday
Mhm.
13th Part 2 with them all laying around his mom's shrine.
Yep. I mean, in both those movies, in Friday 2 and The Burning, you have that identical campfire story scene that it
Oh
has to
man,
be
yeah.
had to be Savini. That because Savini turned down Friday 2 for The Burning, so he probably saw the script for Friday 2 and said, you know, this is what they're doing in that, and like, oh, campfire scene, that sounds cool because it's identical in those two
Yeah,
movies.
yeah. I
And
wouldn't put that
even
past him.
Madman has a similar scene, but that one's a little more its own thing. But identical with The Burning and Friday 2, with the guy jumps out with the mask at the end of the spooky story, identical. So I mean,
Well,
Steve
look,
Miner is ripping shit off everywhere.
well, I mean,
With Friday 2.
plus, you have a direct connection of Madman to Savini through her because she's in it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
She
sense.
used a different name, but that's her. That's Fran
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that's it's got to be Savini. I've always thought that because he's the only link there between The Burning and Friday 2. You know, it's like he's the only one who, unless there's someone just a no name person who looked at the script and then went and worked on The Burning and stuff. But it's too coincidental for it to just be like, oh, they wrote it separately, like for each film. And then they turn out having identical friggin' campfire scare scenes.
Yeah. Madman's interesting, man. It's one of those ones that's kind of always there, but it's never quite talked about a lot. And if you watch it, you like it, but you don't love it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's a
You
feeling I have with a
like it.
lot of movies. Is that type of what you just described? Like, all right, that was good, but then you just forget about it and move on with your life. You know, like
It's
that's
good enough
kind
to
of
be a cult classic, but not good enough to be The Burning. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's good, but not
exactly.
that good.
It's nothing that grabs you and really makes you. Oh, this is fucking great. I love this. I love this. I know exactly what you mean. That's it's weird too because you would think that's like the mediocre category for like how you feel for films, but that's like
Yeah,
probably the more rare movies for me. The ones
right.
that are just like I saw it, it's cool, it's good, and then that's it. Like it's done, and I never think about it again. It doesn't happen
No,
as often as you'd think, but like when it does, it sucks because it's like I
yeah.
really wish this was better. Because like the Nun 2 is the most recent example. I can't even remember a thing from that movie, and I saw it. I reviewed it.
I,
I can't
I,
remember a goddamn
I've
thing.
seen it.
Can't remember a
I
thing.
haven't seen it, man, because I expected the same old jump scares and everything else in it, because that's
Yeah,
all they
it's
do.
exactly that. That's exactly all that. It's a little better
Yeah,
than
I'm
the
so
first
fucking
Nun.
tired of it.
little better than the first Nun, but the first one was awful. So I mean, the little better is just like it's a kind of little less than awful. So it's nothing. You're not missing anything.
You can
And this
guess
is
everything
right
that's
there
gonna
too.
happen.
The stalking right there, like looking through the window. Like there's so many tropes in here that
Stalking
weren't
is
even.
so important, man.
Oh
People
yeah,
just need to slow down, man. Stop being in such a
that's
big
true.
hurry to see the body count. Your body count is so much better when you get good shit leading up to it.
Oh yeah.
It's like slow down, man. You don't need a body every 2 minutes. Just relax. Give it time.
Well, that's why you have so many movies today that just it rely on the jump scares because instead of old like what I consider true horror stuff, it's that build, that peak that it goes and it's building. You might get a little scares here and there, but then it crescendos and it just
Yeah.
peaks at the end of it, and that's it. All the tension builds up. Nowadays, with most modern movie, it's just like jump scare. Oh shit! Oh, I'm back to normal. And shit, jump scare, and I'm back to normal. And it doesn't build tension. It's just a physical reaction. Like if we were together and I chuck something at your face, you're gonna react and you're gonna try to stop it. Like it's just a natural reaction. That's what a jump
Yeah.
scare is, pretty much, unless
And
it's
X
very well done.
and X proved that you can have a high bloody body count slasher movie
It's still a
and have
great
a good
story.
backstory too. Because
Absolutely.
that's a hell of a backstory.
Dude, X and Pearl were both my number one films of
Pearl
last
is
year.
fucking great, man. I love
Yep,
Pearl.
that was my
Pearl is
two
so
number
much better, man.
ones. I couldn't pick between them last year when I did
Really?
my top 20 or top 10 of the year, but it ended up Pearl top X by a little bit. They're
They're so much different.
different movies. Yeah, exactly. They're very, very different. So I got,
They went for a different vibe,
and they
man.
complement each other so well too. That's why I can't wait for Maxine because I know
Yeah,
that'll be
yeah.
very different too from the previous two. So it's going to be like
Pearl
three movies in a trilogy that have their own unique, distinct feel and look to them, probably but they all connect, which is awesome.
X, I liked for what it was and everything, but I just felt like Pearl was such a better film all around.
Oh no,
Pearl has got a
Pearl,
great vibe, man. It's got a great story.
just for her performance,
She
her monologue,
she's so good.
she is amazing.
She,
Mia Goth, like her monologue, the 7 minute monologue at the end of that movie, just for that
yeah,
alone, I was saying in my review of it when I saw it, I said she should win a fucking award. She should win an Academy Award for this performance. But the horrors, it's always been frowned upon with the Academy and awards and stuff like that.
right.
People never look at. I think Get Out was the most recent, and that was like only
Yeah,
the fifth or sixth horror film ever to be like to win Best Picture or something like that, or nominate
yeah.
something like that. So the Academy has never cared really for horror movies, and that's a crime because she absolutely deserves an award just for that monologue, let alone her whole performance in that movie.
Look at her in Infinity Pool too, man. She
Infinity,
fucking
yeah,
carries out too.
I love that movie. That was a great one
Oh
too.
yeah, it is good. I loved her throughout most of that movie. I loved her character, and then all of a sudden at the end, I fucking hated her character. She was
Oh
such a
yeah,
bitch.
yeah,
I went from
once
loving her
it's
to
all
hating
once
her.
all the chips are laid out, and the
She's
whole story,
manipulated.
what's yeah,
I was like,
and
her character's cool. She's right, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, what a bitch.
oh yeah, and the first time I ever saw her was in the Suspiria remake. That was the first time I saw Mia Goth. Was in the
I
remake of Suspiria.
I've only seen that once. The only part I remember of that is the part where the girl gets twisted all around while she's
That's a great scene. That's probably the best scene in the movie. That's probably why you
that
remember.
sticks out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
I was like,
definitely
oh,
sticks
fuck.
out. But she plays like the equivalent of Sarah
Oh, does she?
in the remake. So I mean, it makes sense. You wouldn't remember her like maybe because she wasn't that big then, Mia Goth, and it's a small role,
Knowing
compared to.
her now, knowing her now, I need to watch that again.
Yeah, actually, that would probably be a cool watch. Actually, knowing Mia Goth how she is now, because she
Mm-hmm.
does great in that too. It's like I've always loved her and everything. I think here's that decapitation coming, right?
She can come off however she wants to come off. She can come off that way, and that's the mark. That's the mark of a great actor.
She could play anything. I have no doubt about that.
You can love her. You can feel sorry for her. You can hate her.
Yeah,
Whatever
she
she
can
wants you
evoke
to feel.
she can evoke any type of emotion or feeling out of who she's performing for and stuff. The
Yep.
audience, like she's unreal. Yeah, this
She
is.
plays her cards right, man. She plays her cards right and doesn't start doing garbage. She'll
Yo, and
start
you're
doing
right,
things.
right there with the axe lifting up. You're right. With the
Mm-hmm.
axe lifting up before it decapitates her. That is so
Yep.
Friday with the light hitting the light at the in the bathroom. That same
Yeah, yeah.
wind up with the axe.
The only thing that was missing was hitting the light.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only
And
thing that was missing.
and and Savini did that on purpose because he said that to use the actual weight of use an actual
Yes.
axe. So when it hits the light, it gives you the sense of it's a real axe, and then once it hits her face, it's a prop axe, and it carries over. Same thing with so many effects, but they do that same type of psychology with Misery.
The burning, the burning too with the with the shears. He stabs into the raft with it to show that it's hard and that it's
Yeah.
pointed,
Yep.
and then it slices the throat. You
Yep.
know,
That's
to
a
show
common
that it's
sleight of
real.
hand trick there to show an actual object being used and that you could see like the weight of it hitting something or then
Right.
in the next cut and stuff it's a fake one but it carries that over in your mind, and if it's done
Yeah,
well it's very effective,
that
like
was the whole point of him
the
standing in
hobbling
the raft.
scene, in Misery, like that shit is still hard to fuck. I cringe like and stuff, but it's just his legs,
And it
fake
builds
legs
up,
filled with
man.
gelatin. Oh yeah, the tension in that's unreal, man. The way that builds up, and him just pleading and saying like,
She
"No, Annie, you
she
don't have to
tells him the
do this."
story about what they used to do,
Yeah,
how they could still keep performing, but yet they wouldn't be able to run away. And he's like, Annie, what are you doing? Please
yeah,
don't do it.
yep.
You know,
She's like,
and she's like,
and then he just,
it's
oh,
great.
Annie, please, and then he don't. Oh man. I saw Misery pretty young, and I'll never forget just the sound of his ankle. Fucking, it just go.
Whatever you're thinking about doing,
Oh,
please don't do it. Whatever
yeah,
you're
yeah,
thinking about doing,
yep.
please don't. He's like,
It's just the way he conveys that, to like his helplessness. He's
being
helpless. He
calm
can't
down.
move and stuff, but he's still just pleading with his life. Like, please don't do whatever you're gonna do. Like, please don't do it. Like, there's nothing more he can do. Like that. That's scary. Russell
As soon
says the
as you
only
see her put
film.
that piece of wood, as soon as you see her
Oh
put
yeah,
that piece of wood between I was like, oh fuck.
it's like, oh man, and it's. I thought it was interesting that Rob Reiner changed it from the book, because in the book she chops his leg off with an axe. The hobbling thing was just for the movie. So the Rob
Right.
Reiner changed that scene. Also in the movie, like he was in the novel, he was taking he got hooked on painkillers or drugs and stuff that she was giving him, and like he even tried leaving and trying to escape, but then felt sick from not having the medication and had to go back. Like so, there's some
Yeah,
things they changed a bit, but I think that hobbling
I didn't
scene
know
was
that.
a change for the best. Like the hobble
I
versus
didn't
in
know
the
that.
novel with it getting cut off. I'd rather the hobble like
They
that.
should
The way it shot.
they should have added the painkiller thing because dope sick's definitely a real thing, and a lot of
Oh
people live
yeah,
with
no,
it.
yeah, absolutely. And that they play a lot more on that in the novel.
They should have used that.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just you can't always fit everything in you know in a movie's length. Russell
That
says
right there, that would reach people, man. That would reach a
oh,
lot of people.
absolutely, even more so today. I would think the
Oh,
only
definitely.
film the only film that disturbed Russell was Girl Next Door. Oh, the Girl Next Door with what's her name? Oh, what the hell's her name? Blanche. Yeah, I did a video on it, Russell. Actually, if you want to check it out
Yeah,
sometime. But yeah, it is. It's a disturbing movie. Actually, The Girl Next Door
she
from
played the older
2007.
sister. She played the older sister in 16 Candles. She was the
Yeah, yeah.
sister that's being
It's
married.
Blanche something or something Blanche. I'm looking it up now.
I'm doing that movie, as a matter of fact. That movie, I was talking about that last night. Where that took place was in Indianapolis, Indiana, about 40
Mhm.
miles from where I live.
Oh yeah, interesting.
That's where that took place. The God, what was her name? Sarah? No, the girl that this happened to.
Oh, Sylvia,
Sylvia
Sylvia
Likens.
Likens. Yeah, Likens, right? Yep.
Yep, that happened about 40 miles away from where I live.
Oh man, that's crazy. And yeah, what a sick fucking movie. Oh,
Sylvia
what's her name?
Likens. Yeah, that's
Blanche
horrible,
Baker.
man. Horrible.
Blanche Baker. That's her name.
Yeah, she played
Her
the older sister
performance.
that was getting married.
Her
16
performance
Candles is
is
weird.
great. Her performance in The Girl Next Door is great. Like the evil
Oh
fucking
man.
aunt, she plays that. She kills that role.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who directed that? Gregory
That
M.
one was
Wilson.
heat. That one was evil. There was
Oh
another one
yeah,
that came out. There's another one that came out at the same time called An
yeah. A few
American
years.
Crime,
Oh, okay.
and
I thought you were gonna say
and
Girl Next Door, that comedy movie with the hot chick. Like,
and the girl that played the Sylvia Likens role was Ellen Page in that one.
oh,
It
okay.
was made about the same time,
That's
but The Girl
interesting.
Next Door was a lot better.
Yeah, and I did a video on it like last year sometime, and I didn't see it for like years until that watch. And man,
That's on my
it's
list.
disturbing as it is, and because it's based on a real story. I was saying this about the movie Zodiac on the David Fincher's film on that countdown and
Mm-hmm.
stuff when it came up. That Tom Savini actually said on that Shutter documentary and stuff while I was watching it. I'm talking about these movies. He had to shut Zodiac off the first time he watched it during the park scene when the couple gets killed. And this is Tom Savini. Like he was in
And
war for seeing real bodies blown
uh,
apart and shit. And then he brought us some
Vietnam,
of the greatest effects ever. And he had to shut that movie off Zodiac and stuff just because of how it's shot and directed and the murder in the park. And that it happened. Like these were real people that it's based off of that happened to. And that makes it hit a lot harder. So like when you
oh
see
yeah,
that movie, The Girl Next Door, and that this happened and Russell brought it up to you, Sylvia, like you feel that and you feel like, oh, this isn't just a movie though, like it's like it's being creative with the story maybe a little bit, but it's like this is based on a real story, true story. So that really like settles in and stuff when you watch movies like that.
I'm going to be doing the Girl Next Door. That's going to be one of mine. It's going to be a little later, probably after Christmas, but I am going to be doing that.
Speaking of Christmas, I got to do Black Christmas this December because I didn't do it.
Uh,
I didn't do it last year. I was watching it. I was started it like on Christmas night or some shit, like late, and then I just fell asleep. And I was like, all right, I guess it's always next year.
I'm doing mine on Sunday afternoon. It's Christmas Eve, Sunday afternoon is when I'm doing Black Christmas.
Nice.
Like at noon on Christmas Eve. I have to do that every year. I have to.
Yeah, I usually watch it on Christmas Day night or Christmas Eve night, depending. But I get a video out on it last year, but I said whatever. There's many many Christmases to come. Speaking of disturbing films, Russell, stuff like Megan is missing. Keith knows is the one that fucked me up. Like
I
that
was
movie.
already. I was telling you earlier. That's another one on my list that's going to be done.
That movie.
I'm telling you, this extreme show is not going to be for everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm fine with pretty much anything, but that movie is the one movie that I've never in my life paused a film before. And it's because I saw this movie after my daughter was born as a father. And I think that's why it really, really fucking hit me. Because when they show the pictures, and you know what I mean, when they show the pictures, dude, I had a full on panic attack. I had to go outside and calm myself down because then I started thinking to myself, like, this shit happens like all the time to fucking young girls. And then I'm thinking, then, you're a father, your daughter, she's young, but one day, and just the anxiety just went like that. I said, yo, I got to get up and walk outside. I paused it. I had to go outside and smoke a cigarette. And if I can come back in, I had to watch an episode of South Park for like half hour. Then I finished the rest of it. And I said, I'm never watching this again. It fucked me up, that movie.
That ending scene, man, the assault goes on forever.
Oh yeah, and then the fucking barrel and just what happens at the end. Like, oh, you imagine being in a barrel with the corpse of your friend. Oh man.
She's begging, she's going, please, I love you. And she's trying
to I remember that. Yep.
Man.
And nothing she says is gonna change fate. But oh, that movie fucked with my mind. That's the only movie that ever made me pause a movie.
Yep, it's another one that's going to be there. Well, like I said, this particular documentary / watch along that I'm starting on this extreme is not going to be for everybody. That's for sure. But
well, especially with these type of movies, there's a lot of triggering topics that come up and stuff in discussions, and of course, it's just like watching the movies. Think of it that way. Just like watching those movies, listening and discussing them is not going to be for everybody either.
Yeah.
Like when I did a Serbian film a few months ago, I did it as a podcast just because if I like said something wrong, like different, I laughed or like I made a fucking joke, like my face would be there. So I made it a podcast.
That's the one that
That
I
movie's
won't
fucking
watch over
crazy.
again.
That
I
movie's
watched it
great.
once, and that was enough. That ending is absolutely fucking unnecessary. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at a
Oh,
Serbian film. It's
absolutely.
unnecessary.
It's just shock for shock value. It's
It's
just to be
unnecessary.
shocking. Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
it's just a
It's the
up.
only movie I've seen where I feel sick. I felt sick when I watched
Oh, especially with the ending. Yeah.
it. Yes.
Russell,
Yeah.
what the one that disturbed me? Megan is missing. Should be able to find it on. It might even be on YouTube, but if not, maybe
I have
Tubi or
it.
Look Movie will have it. Oh man, I actually did a video on it. I did a 60-second review. It went on for 20 seconds or less. It's basically me just saying Megan is missing. I'm never doing a real video on this. This movie fucked me up, gave me a panic attack. Fuck this movie, never watching it again. That's the review, and that was the end of it. Can't do it. Can't watch that shit again. Yeah, fucking and it's I get a daily reminder almost of that movie too, because there's someone on Twitter, you just follow people, just someone whose name is Megan is missing, so that I see notifications of that like almost every day, and then every time I see it, it's like, oh, that fucking movie then. And I'll see later on a notification, a fucking movie, because the girl's name is Megan is missing.
Yeah, I talked to what's her name. I can't remember her name. A couple of years ago, I talked to the blonde, the main girl,
Okay, yeah,
the one that the shit happens to at the end. Yeah, I
the
talked to
best
her
friend.
a couple of years ago on Instagram.
That's cool.
She just talking to her and asking her. She's actually really cool.
And the ending to this is so fucking weird too. This movie. I think
Some
so.
of them are
So
cool.
far, everybody's a murderer in this movie. Every fucking person's a killer. Like
Oh, some low
everybody.
down motherfuckers, man. Everybody is just these low down, greedy motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, like this is like that type of movie. It's almost like the Saw series. How convoluted the series is. Shrink it down to a movie, an
Yeah,
Italian film, and that's like the convolutedness of this movie's plot. Everyone's a murderer. Even this guy seems like the main murderer, but he's like probably the most innocent and out of all of them. And then even the kids
yeah,
are murderers at the very end.
yeah.
And I don't even know.
They just
I don't
want
know.
the shit, man. They want the
Yeah,
shit.
this is a great movie on like fucking greed and shit. Like to show to people, like be like, don't be greedy and shit, and throw on a Bay of Blood from Mario Bava.
Yeah, it's like they want the shit, man. It's like the movies you've seen back in the day, like Against All Odds and Body Heat and shit.
Yep,
It's
yep.
like you commit a crime with somebody, but watch out because as soon as that crime's over, they're gonna kill your ass off now too, so
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
have it all for themselves.
yeah, exactly.
Can't trust a motherfucker. Greedy people.
Especially in
If you
that
hang with
world.
greedy people, you can't trust them enough. If they're greedy,
Oh
you
yeah,
cannot.
absolutely.
Greed is like the worst of the seven. Greed is the worst.
Yep, because it leads to all the others.
Everything. Yep.
It, it spreads like a virus.
Greed is the worst trait a person can have.
Yep, I agree.
You can't have every fucking thing. I'm sorry, you can't have my shit too, motherfucker. Then come on. You can't have everybody's shit. Damn.
Yeah, I think that's just like a societal thing nowadays. It's just people are just not happy with what they have, no matter who they are. Like it's like what they have, or how bad or good. It's like people just it sucks. Like the world's just fucking fucked up.
And,
But this,
and the more they have, the more they want.
yeah, basically, and that's how and it's like a drug. It becomes an addiction, I guess.
It's like, sorry, this one's mine. Fuck off. Take your shit
I,
and go home. Fuck off.
I do like the score here. This is
Oh,
out of
always.
even though this is in my top like Bava films, the score isn't really in my top scores. Like I don't think the score is great in this. It's good, but it's not like my top Bava scores or even my top like Italian horror scores, let alone like horror in general.
It's got that
It
basic
feels
early
yeah,
Italian
exactly. Like the strings, the very melodic, floaty string, but then the chase sequences and stuff. You had like that tribal stuff going on. That's cool.
Yeah.
that's the most memorable, I think, compositions like in score from this movie versus like that, like you said, very kind of not generic, but like what was going on in a lot of movies at the time with the
It's
scores.
it's a basic template, man. It's just stock. It's well, it is like stock footage or stock music. You
Oh
put it
yeah,
in there, but you
they
don't
used
have
to
anything
do
else.
that a
You just
lot.
stick it in.
Yep.
Yeah. They
Actually,
didn't start
maybe
really
you
breaking
might
that.
know. You might know. You'll probably know this. The last time I watched Manhattan Baby, right? I
Mhm.
did a podcast episode on it. That's why I rewatched it. I've always liked Manhattan Baby. I didn't know if it was the version I was watching on Tubi, but it had the score from the Beyond throughout it. Is that's how it always is? Or did Manhattan Baby has its own score? And this was
I,
just like a version that had other scores thrown in there because it confused me when I watched it. I was thinking to myself, I'm
I'm
like,
sure.
wait a minute, because I was trying to think of like the other times I saw Manhattan Baby. I'm like, wait, do they always have the score from the Beyond in there? And I still didn't figure it out. So I wonder if there's different
That,
cuts of it.
that would be unusual if Fulci did that. That would be unusual because he usually went with something different.
Yeah, that's
I
why it
don't
was freaking
remember,
me
but I
out.
don't think so. I don't think so, man.
Because I'm
For
looking
some
up the
reason,
composer now. Or I don't. I think it was the Beyond, but if not the Beyond, it was a Fulci film, but the score they were using. And I was
because
like,
I
this
know
is from this movie.
the same guy did Zombie and City of the Living Dead, but he's that's the only two Fulci he
That's
did.
Fabio Frizzi, and the music here,
Yeah.
Banana Baby, says music by Fabio Frizzi. So unless they mean that they used Frizzi's composition from older movies for this,
Huh.
from Banana Baby, I don't know. That's strange.
That would be
Production
unusual.
country.
You
Trying
just
to see if
spin
it's.
to it. I love it. How they pan away with this fucker's spirit to the side
I know,
cover.
yeah, yeah. That's a great shot too. And his head
Yeah, he
falls.
slowly going down. Yeah.
The Bronx were around the same time. Yeah, I can't find anything on the music right this second. But yeah, that was something that really like stumped me. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I don't remember Manhattan Baby having the score to. I think it was the Beyond. If it wasn't, it was some other Fulci film or some other Italian film or something like. I was like, wait a minute. But I think it was definitely a Fulci film because I was like, he used the same score in this movie too. I said, I don't
I'll
remember that the other times I saw it. So maybe it's just the version that Tubi had or something at the time.
I'll play it here in a little bit and see, man, and see what I can figure out about it. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will
because
know if it is.
that'll clear up my confusion that I had with it when I rewatched it. Russell said, found it on YouTube, had to confirm her age, but it's in Indonesia. Ah, that's cool. What, the girl next, Megan is missing? I mean, good luck. That movie fucked me up. I can't, you can't pay me to watch that again.
Yeah, that whole ending. But the last 15, 20 minutes, that's rough, man.
Like, even Bava's, like, camera work and stuff, like, in nighttime shots like this, like, just walking through woods and stuff like that, like, it looks so good. Like, the
The
lighting
only
is
thing,
always just a go-to from my eyes when I watch a Bava film.
the only thing you could see was him for the longest time. Now you can see a couple stars in the back, but
Yeah, yeah.
what he wants you to see, you can see really well.
Mhm. Some of my favorite shots in film is in Kill Baby Kill. You know that infamous spiral staircase, and there's a
Yeah.
few shots he does from above as someone's going
Uh,
down, then from below it, like and all the lighting and color, like that's I love those shots.
like he keeps having to light another match. It's dark as fuck.
That's when you wish you had just like fucking lighters like handy, like right on hand.
Yeah. He's just like, yeah, you better light some shit, motherfucker. You're gonna run into some shit you don't want to run into. And those are some shit, and that's just straight out short ass matches too. They're not gonna last long.
No, yeah, I just actually thought of that too. I was looking at it, so that's a very tiny match. he'd be running through the whole matchbook by the time it starts.
See, I knew it. There wasn't enough light to keep somebody from jumping him. Fighting in the dark, even.
I like
It's
how he
not
just
the best case
shows
scenario.
clearly. He shows him holding the knife, and then it goes dark again while they're struggling.
It's not the best case scenario that you want for a fight. That's for sure.
Oh
In
yeah,
the dark like that.
especially with someone brandishing a knife. You want to be able to see
Right.
that shit.
Oh, well, that was it. Somebody lost.
There can only be one Highlander.
Yeah.
But even the winners in this movie, they don't win either. and,
No,
and the and the kids they were pretending, right? They didn't know they were like because I don't know what to take from the ending of this movie. I never have. Like when the kids kill the parents, like and then they say they're playing dead. So they do they know they actually did that, or they're just thinking they're playing?
I
I
don't
always
know.
took it like they think that they're playing. I don't think they just like cold bloodedly killed their parent. Then went and played by the bay. Like, but you never know. I mean, would Bava's mind? Who knows? It's such a weird ending. So
That's the
everyone's a
real deal.
murderer. Everyone's been killed. It's just these two. They think they got control of the bay.
Unless the kids are a little more knowledgeable than we give them credit for.
Yeah, because he's
It's like, hey man,
the kid says,
who's fucking
"Daddy,"
illegal?
then just fires on them. So there's two kids, kill them. But then they make a comment. I
Yeah,
remember that they say like, "Are they're good at playing dead or something?" Then they go to the lake.
I think they know, man.
I mean, it makes it a lot more of a dark ending if they do.
Because the whole place is such a fucking
Yeah,
carnage and
crazy
so
zone,
much
right?
massacre. The last thing they're gonna look at is these two kids. These two kids are gonna be like, hey, we just walked up and I don't know. We're just here, man, and everybody's
Yeah,
just
right. They
dead.
say like they're good at playing dead. So I don't know if they're just like if that's just showing like their young imaginations and stuff, and they pretend they think they were just pretending, and they're like, oh, they know how to play dead good, and then they just keep going and playing, and just run by the
Yeah,
bay,
because
I guess.
now if they would have approached them and shit, that would explain more. But since they just ran off, they could easily be played off as, hey, they're playing dead, like they
Yeah,
really don't know.
that's kind of what I always took
Yeah,
from it. Since they like they're in such a childish state of mind that they're just like, "Hey, daddy," and just like bang bang, but it's a real gun. But they fall down, and then they're like, "Oh, well, they're good at playing dead." And all right, let's go by the lake, and they just run on. Don't pay any attention to it. That's what I
well,
always took from it.
they've seen the whole thing unfold. So as far as they're concerned, man, they're just doing what they've seen the adults doing. They're just
That's
playing
another.
along.
That's true. That's another point. Who knows how much they saw and witnessed? They never show it, but who knows? They probably did see all
All
the craziness going on.
this is just one big game. All these adults are playing like they're killing each other. Well, let's play too. You know?
Dean Martin, Russ, my great aunt, my Auntie Anne. She actually was just her anniversary of her death. She lived to 100, almost 104, 103 years old. She died a few
Yeah.
months before 104. But she used to play Dean Martin all the time, and like when I was a
My
kid and
mom
stuff.
loves him.
So I
My
know
mom
like
loves Dean
all of Dean
Martin.
Martin's greatest hits and everything. Like I probably know that whole CD's greatest hits just from her, my aunt playing it all the time.
Everybody loves somebody sometime.
Yep. So man, standing on the corner, watching all the girls go by. Dude, it's so weird. I can sing that whole fucking album just from her.
Like a
Yep.
big pizza pie, that's
Bye.
amore.
That's amore.
Yeah.
So good.
Dean Martin was a smooth motherfucker, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, he made good music. He had a great voice.
Like
I
he
can
was
play his
smooth,
shit.
man. The women were like, "Oh, Dean," they fucking loved him.
Oh yeah. He was in the Rat Pack, and a
My
good
mom,
reason.
my mom had a thing for him. She loved Dean Martin like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That
No,
was
he's
that was her guy. That was her guy.
pretty sure that's how my great aunt felt about him too, and that's why she always played him.
This is
But
also
not,
known as bloodbath.
Yeah, there's so many titles. I only know the three main ones. I know Bay of Blood, Twitch of the Death Nerve, and Carnage was another name for it. I think there was like another 3 or 4 or some shit.
Well, there's a Bea de Sangre, Bay of Blood. Let me see, La Belle Singlate, Bloodbath. Yeah,
So yeah,
names,
like
man. Names.
just like 6, 7 titles.
That's what all those older movies were, man. Especially the foreign ones. They had 7
Oh
titles.
yeah, especially because they
First they
wanted
were released. It
they
was
would get
different.
him they would get him into theaters or drive-ins for a little bit, then they'd change the name and then they'd put it back into driving, trying to make a little more money back, even though it's the same fucking movie, but it has a different name completely. So people going paying tickets to go see the movie, then they sit there like after 5 minutes, they'll probably be like, wait, this is that other movie that we saw. Like, why is the name different?
Yeah.
Like it's a good marketing ploy, like good thinking on their part. But
Oh
like the
yeah.
audience was probably confused as shit. The audience, like if they saw the whatever it was last time, like it was playing at their drive-in, they probably were
Yeah.
very confused. Yeah, bloodbath, chain
Yeah.
reaction.
I forgot about Bloodbath. But all those posters are I have all those posters come to this.
That's sick. It has so many great posters. This movie too. Like even
Oh,
I'm looking
that's a
at it
really
now,
good
the Ecologia del Delitto one, like the Italian cover. Even that looks like it's sick.
that one's unique as fuck. That one I'm putting that right there. That's one I've
Yeah,
never really seen.
I've always loved the one the one I use as the thumbnail for this for the Twitch of the Death Nerve, and it, with the blue and stuff, the water and like yeah
That
I, I love that. I just love the name Twitch of the Death Nerve, man. Like I don't like
yeah.
Play of Blood. I wish they just kept this movie named like and released everywhere as Twitch of the Death Nerve, because that is just like
Bad
the
Blood's an
most
American thing, man.
inventive, horrific name like ever. So good, such a
Oh,
great movie.
did you see? I don't know if I showed you this, but this is the collection of all of the comic books and shit. The Come from Vinegar Syndrome. Remember the zombie thing
Oh
I was
yeah,
telling you
yeah,
about
yeah.
earlier?
I remember you showed that when you watched Zombie, right? When you
Well,
redid
watch
Zombie,
this.
that's awesome.
Here's here's the Maniac one.
That's fucking sick, dude. You know I love Spinell and Maniac so much. Carolyn Monroe, that's sick.
It's all full. It has the 4 graphic novels and a whole bunch of cards and bookmarks and all kinds of shit, man. It's got all that shit in it. So yep, Maniac.
That's
Next is going to be House by the Cemetery and Gates of Hell. They're going to do those two. So I'm looking forward to getting those.
nice. Yeah, when I can't pick between the whole Gates of Hell trilogy, and like they're all 3 of them are my top 10, are my number 10 movies of all time. Like just how Lucio Fulci's the Gates of Hell trilogy, because I couldn't pick like between them. Like I mean,
Right.
more so, I couldn't pick between the Beyond and City of the Living Dead. House is a little less for me. Like that one, if I needed to, I can like kind of exclude it or move it down. But I can't pick between the Beyond and City of the Living Dead. Like, I just can't. Like they're both perfect movies for me. And yeah, Phil, that sounds
Those
fine.
three,
But
all 3 of them for me are just right there, man. If someone put a gun to my head and said, "You got to pick one of them," I'd be like, "Oh my god!"
no,
I
it's panic inducing trying to pick one.
yeah,
I
I'll
think I
probably
just said
start
it.
from one
I
man
think
in
I
Black
even
City.
said it. I said like, if you're a Fulci fan, would you be able to pick like or something like that in the video? I was like, 'cause I can't pick between the Beyond and that whole trilogy. It's just fantastic.
I would just shove all 3 aside and say, "Can I pick zombie? Can I just pick zombie and just get it over
Yeah,
with?"
right. Just just like to wipe the options off the table and throw another one on. You're like, it's too
Yeah,
hard. I'm gonna go with this now. But what a great movie.
absolutely.
Thanks for joining me, man, for this. This was fun
Yeah,
watching this and talking.
hell yeah.
Absolutely love this movie and love watching Bava. Next month, I'm going to be doing a very Lynch December. So I'm going to be talking David Lynch and shit. So if you want to, we'll plan something. If you want to join for something,
Hell yeah.
you're always welcome, man. We'll talk some Lynch. I know Jamie wants to definitely collab and do something because she's a huge David Lynch fan, Jamie.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, yeah. Just get a hold of me when you got a spot or whatever, man, and we'll make a time. We'll do it. Hell yeah.
All right, cool. And Blood Rage, me and Dave were watching. I asked you Thanksgiving, but we're doing Thanksgiving the day before Thanksgiving, Wednesday. I forgot that. So if you're free,
I still haven't done anything with Dave yet, so yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you want to do that, then that might work out.
Hell yeah,
But yeah, we'll
I'm
figure it out.
looking forward to doing something with Dave. So hell yeah, I mean, if you guys got a spot, let me know
No,
and I'll be
yeah.
there, man.
All right, cool. That sounds good. All right, man. Everybody in chat, thanks for hanging out. Russell, again, thanks, Russ. Again, just for all the support. Love you, brother. Same thing,
Hell yeah,
Phil.
man.
Yeah, take a shower, Phil, and we'll play some Dark Souls a little later. And everybody else, thanks for hanging out. Keith, as always, thanks for being here, brother.
Take it
And
easy, man. I appreciate it.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody.
Later.